What's up everybody? How you doing? Tyler here with your movie fix, and we're going to be looking at the first Wonder Woman trailer. This is the first theatrical. I know we got the Comic-Con one and the international one, which was just a rehash of the Comic-Con one. But this is our first trailer one, theatrical trailer for Wonder Woman, and just some general thoughts. I absolutely loved it. This was actually a very well put together trailer. It looked really good. It gave us a great feel for what it's going to be. And just looking at some of the other trailers for the DC movies, I'd say this is probably like the third best one that we've had. I'm kind of tied for number one being Man of Steel trailer 2 or 3, and then the Dawn of Justice Comic-Con trailer. But this one was a very well put together trailer, and I really enjoyed it. There was a lot of differences as far as like some of the color grading that they did from the first Comic-Con trailer, which was very muted. There were heavier blues across all of it with the color grading, but this one was a little more balanced like they did in the international trailer. So if that's any kind of sign of what they're going with, I think with them doing that for the last two releases that they've done, looks pretty good as far as visually. And the cinematography in this looks really great. Just the first few opening shots, especially on Themyscira, like that is Paradise Island. That is a very beautiful, gorgeous looking place. The shot of her diving off the cliff into the water, that's some very classic Wonder Woman imagery right there with what she's doing. Really enjoyed it, and very, like, our first shot off the bat, we got something really interesting that's telling us something about this movie and about the character that when she's kind of narrating, she's talking about how she used to want to save this world, how it's a beautiful place. You know, you look harder and you can see how ugly it really gets, that kind of thing. But we're getting a narration. So is this story, I don't think this is going to be a narrated story all the way through. Is this going to be a story that's revealed at the very end of the movie that it's being told to somebody? If that's going to be the case, that would be really cool. Or if they kind of introduce us, like they're showing that she's actually got the picture, the physical picture that she was after in Dawn of Justice. So it looks like Bruce is the one that he did get it for her, probably when he broke in or sometime later. But he did seize that picture that she was going after. So that was a cool little detail, and you can actually see that there's a written letter from Bruce Wayne Industries or whatever. You can see it right there on her desk when she's reading it, or looking at the picture, I should say, which that's really cool. And I know a lot of people tried to get on to, like, what was her point with trying to get a picture? It's digital. It's a sentimental thing. She wanted to have the physical thing. Having that picture of Wonder Woman in World War I is kind of like the equivalent of having a real picture of Bigfoot. Like, that's the only one that doesn't really happen. That means a lot. I'm sure it's a very sentimental thing with Steve Trevor and the other people that she bonded with during World War I. So moving on, yes, a lot of beautiful shots that we got to see, especially with the slow-mo, with the Amazon shooting the arrow and getting shot. And we actually get to tell that Diana has these enhanced reflexes and she can actually see this bullet moving. She's actually watching it pass by her. That's a really cool little detail. I gotta say that this is really refreshing that we're not getting a World War II period piece, because it's so common. It's such a popular thing to do with World War II, which I do love them. Don't get me wrong, I love a lot of World War II movies. I think it's a great, fantastic, very interesting era, but something that's not really explored too much anymore is World War I, and that's something I'm gonna like to see. That was really introducing a lot of horrible, terrible weapons to the world, especially with things that are now outlawed, things that you can no longer do in war, with all the chemical warfare, with the mustard gas that they were using, the trench warfare, the introduction of these rifles and pistols. This was the introduction of real modern day war, was World War I. With what we have now is everything is evolved from those guns, from those weapons, and we get a glimpse in them talking about these horrible weapons, and showing what I'm going to guess is going to be Dr. Poison. That's the chick who has this little thing over her face. I'm sure under it's probably going to be like some kind of chemical burn, but I imagine she's going to be like the scientist that's going to be behind these, like, the mustard gas, the tear gas, these gases that they use in trench warfare to kill everyone. And she's going to be working with whoever this SS officer is, who... It's pretty assumed that he's probably going to be Ares, but he's clearly going to be some sort of German, not SS, just a German officer, general perhaps. But I imagine she's going to be working with him. He's contracted her. She's this really messed up in the head scientist who wants to create all these things. And we do get a shot of her throwing something into a room, and then we see a big explosion. I think that's just the trailer cut. I think that the explosion takes place more in scenes that we're seeing later in the trailer that have probably more to do with Ares. if that's him. Whatever the finale is, I don't think that her throwing that, I don't think that was the bomb that we just saw. So I imagine that was going to be something of the gases that she's created. And it seems like we may be getting more of a Justice League route with her just totally disobeying her mother's orders and taking the Wonder Woman armor, the shield and the sword and all that. That looks so good. That is like one of my favorite little moments in this trailer is her looking at the armor, taking the shield and taking the sword. That's something that's just so great. And that's something that I like that they've done in these DC movies. Like looking at Man of Steel, the way he saw his suit for the first time, or Batman, the way he's looking at it in the Batcave and Dawn of Justice. This is shaping up to be so cool. And there's so many iconic images in this trailer that are going to be in the movie, so that's just really refreshing to see all this. And of course, many DC fans have pointed out that we're getting a little Superman the movie homage in here, with when Lois Lane is getting mugged in an alley and Clark kind of catches a bullet, throws it, whatever, but she's also protecting Steve. He's getting shot at and she deflects it with her bracelet. So a cool little homage, which Patty Jenkins has said that the Superman movie actually did inspire her a lot when making this film, and she really looks up to Richard Donner and what Christopher Reeve did for the character. So seeing those influences in a modern day setting, as far as modern day filmmaking, that's going to be really cool. On top of the really, really cool shot that we got of her in that alley that's kind of extended with her blocking like everything, all those bullets. You know, with the other movies, we've got cape porn with Man of Steel and Dawn of Justice, just all the glorious flowing capes. In this movie, we're going to get like bullet deflecting porn, and it's just going to be the greatest thing. But also, I should point out that the second unit director for this movie, who is shooting all the action sequences, the fight sequences, is the same guy that does the second unit directing for Zack Snyder's movies. So getting Patty Jenkins to direct the overall story and be first unit director is all great. But having somebody like that who can handle the action and give us some of the action from Dawn of Justice in this Wonder Woman movie, that little scene of her in the alley is very reminiscent of Batman in the warehouse. So, that's just going to be great. Again, continuing with this narration, everything that Diana is saying in the trailer, from everything that I know, and I've been reading, or I have all the Wonder Woman books from the 1980s reboot with George Perez all the way up to New 52. She is really nailing this character. What Patty Jenkins did, what Jeff Johns did with writing the script. Like, this is my duty to protect the people. Like, this is the Wonder Woman who's really going out there. She's trying to make her place in the world. She's doing something really big and important. And we know that she gets disillusioned the more she sees these horrible things in the world. This is World War I, that war to end all wars. And that's really going to change her into the character that we see in Dawn of Justice. But I feel like this is going to really nail who the character is, and that's the vibe that I'm getting from this trailer. And although I don't know if the music in this is the original score for the movie, I'd be fine if it is, because I think the song fit very great over this trailer. Just a little tidbit here, the guy who is doing the composing for this movie, doing the soundtrack, was actually the guy who's doing Hacksaw Ridge, which is in theaters now with Andrew Garfield and the Mel Gibson film. So just that little bit there, which I do like his work. I've checked it out, and I'm not sure if this is his original score for the film, but if it is, or if this is any indication of what the music is going to be like, it's going to be great. Now, this little shot has been analyzed and looked at a bunch of times. We're getting Wonder Woman. Again, this action just looks so crispy and beautiful, guys. But the shot of her kind of swinging up what looks to be the German general or lieutenant, whatever he is, the officer, she's slamming him with the lasso of truth over, and if that was a normal guy, she'd clearly be killing him, which, although Wonder Woman isn't totally averse to killing people, I don't think she's going to kill our main antagonist by slamming him into the ground with the lasso. I don't think that's the case, and I imagine if you're going to be fighting someone like that, it would probably have to be someone like Ares. Ares just makes all the sense in the world. I like that they're showing more of the Dr. Poison, that this female villain, and I hope that if they reveal Ares in the trailers, I'm not going to be that disappointed or anything like that. That's still going to be fine for me. I don't think that's a big deal. It's not a doomsday situation. We know that he's an antagonist. We already know that. But also, the lasso of truth isn't necessarily just you put it around somebody, it compels them to tell the truth. Yes, but it also kind of has other properties. It's a magical thing. You can do various things with it. So she could also be using it on him, on Danny Houston, to kind of, if she's using it on him and slamming him down and trying to subdue him, she could also be forcing him to reveal his true form, which that would be really cool. I'm just hoping they really nail the design of Ares if they're going to go that route. And very, very, very briefly, we got a shot of her jumping up, and it looks like she's hovering. She could very well be flying now. Again, why would she be flying in this and she didn't fly in Dawn of Justice? Just because she didn't fly doesn't mean she couldn't fly. It's as simple as that. Zack didn't want to do it, and it didn't happen. But it looks like she may in this film, and there could be many reasons why they decided to go that route. And even back in the 80s run, she couldn't really fly on her own, and she actually had to be given like the boots, the sandals that Hermes uses to travel from Mount Olympus down to Themyscira and anywhere around the world. You know, he's the messenger of the gods. So he gives her those sandals and with the little wings on them, like God of War, and she uses those to fly. So could she be getting those in the film? They have said that she is like the daughter of Zeus in this, that they are going that route, that she's more of a demigod. So why would they not show her doing it? Or maybe she's going to discover a little briefly that she can do something like flying, so that'd be really cool. But if they were to explore it, I really hope they do, because I don't think they should really shy away from the fact that Diana can fly. And of course, we end the trailer with another little funny moment between Etta Candy and Diana about like her trying on this big dress, and she's asking like, how do you fight in this thing? And she's talking about, we fight with our principles. And again, that I think that line and the humor in this works. I don't think any of it has felt like out of place or forced. Just the little bits. I feel like this movie is going to have its place for the lighthearted, fun moments. And of course, it's not going to shy away from the darker action that is World War I. So overall, this trailer sold me. It looks great. It sounds great. Everything that I'm seeing on screen looks pretty cool. There's nothing about this that really deterred me. Of course, all of the like special effects and everything aren't totally finalized. As far as like, it didn't give any broad strokes away from the story. We know we've looked at people who we think are going to be the antagonists. We know that it's going to be taking place in World War I. I still think the big mystery of this is going to be, why exactly are the Germans attacking? How did they get to Paradise Island? How did that happen? That's going to be really cool to explore, and I think that's going to be the big mystery, and I think that's really going to be the key with Ares. But anyways, guys, leave your thoughts down below. What did you make of this trailer? How do you and again, what do you think as far as Gal Gadot in this? I think she's doing a fine job. I don't think she's just doing okay as Diana. I think she's doing really good. And again, she's had these other roles in movies like The Fast and Furious, Night and Day, or whatever. But she's never really been given a role where she has something to do or something to really prove. She was very well received in Dawn of Justice for that very little brief bit that she had. But I think the camaraderie that she has with the other actresses and the actors on the set for Wonder Woman, and her relationship with Patty Jenkins, the director, I think she's working very well under a talented director. And they're playing well off of each other, and she's learning a lot. And I think she's progressing as an actress, which maybe she hasn't been super great in some of the other roles, but again, she hasn't been given something to do. And I think she's playing Diana, and I think she's really embracing the role of Wonder Woman very well. So that's what I'm excited to see. Comment below, what did you think of this? What do you think of Gal? And did you notice anything that I didn't quite point out in this breakdown? Again, leave your thoughts down below. I'd love to discuss it. Guys, for more videos like this, be sure to subscribe. More movie news, movie reviews, trailer breakdowns, all that great stuff. I'll see you on the next video.